Welcome to the Dump Him podcast, discussing all things modern day dating, learning to love yourself, and when you should just dump him, or her, or them. Hi guys!
Hello everyone!
Welcome back to the Dump Him podcast. As you can see, if you are watching on our YouTube channel, we're back together.
Woohoo!
Live in the flesh and direct, a safe distance apart.
This actually feels really weird.
I know. We haven't recorded together in person in...
Since July. Yeah.
That is insane.
Isn't that mad? Because I feel like I'm just talking to the room.
Like looking around.
Yeah. Hey guys! I went overseas, didn't I, in August, and then I got stuck in quarantine for 2 weeks when that was a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it still will be a thing. And then we had to change to online, and then I think we kept going from there.
Yeah.
Which is really strange.
This is so weird.
Very weird.
But it's nice. It's nice to be back. So if anyone's listening on Spotify and you want to see the two of us in a room together for the first time in bloody
Looking
ages,
very awkward.
looking really uncomfortable, then head on over to our YouTube channel, The Dumping Podcast.
Whoop whoop.
Anyway, I'm sure you probably already know this because you've made it this far already, but I'm Francesca.
And I'm Kitty.
And we're The Dumping Podcast.
We are.
Coming straight in your ear holes after a couple of glasses of wine tonight.
Still sounds weird. Ear holes still sounds weird. It hasn't improved since 2 weeks ago when you last said it.
Sorry, well, we're just here to drop some truths and help the people out.
We are.
We are indeed. So, Kitty,
Yeah.
what's been going on with you recently?
Well, guys, I have a story for you all. So, you might remember back at the start of season 1, forget that, season 2, but sorry, I meant to say start of this year, so back in January. And we were talking about this guy that I had been speaking to over Christmas and New Year. You know, we FaceTimed on Christmas Day and on New Year's Eve. And then
Big moves.
Yeah, it was. And then I wasn't really feeling it. Do you remember? He acted a bit strange and wasn't really learning from his mistakes.
The vibes were bad.
Francesca felt the vibes.
The vibes
So,
were off.
anyway, I obviously then stopped speaking to him for a little bit and we started speaking again just through Instagram. And I was thinking, actually, I do quite miss speaking to this guy. You know, it's quite nice to speak to him again. So we've been speaking. It's been quite flirty, to be honest. And we were actually meant to go on a date tomorrow when this will be. So when this comes out, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
But as we're recording it, it was meant to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it got cancelled a few days ago for a reason to do with a work function. You know, fine. I'm a little bit... Well, I'm not sceptical because I've seen the physical proof, but I didn't really think it was going to happen anyway. Like, I didn't really seem too keen. And I was a little bit like, do you know who you're going on a date with? You're either really keen or it's not fucking happening, right? So, I then, we had a guest on, which you guys will be hearing from next week, so get excited. But he referenced a hot-cold situation with someone.
You're
and
hot and you're cold.
yes and you're no.
She was onto something there.
He.
Katy Perry.
Oh, Katy Perry.
With this song, sorry.
What?
We were on a completely different wavelength there. We were having two different conversations.
So anyway, and this you'll hear more about it next week, so I don't want to jump the gun too much and tell you something, but I asked about someone giving mixed signals because I felt from him I was getting quite a lot of mixed signals. And this guest basically explained what could have been going on. So I thought, well, you know what? He started up again. I left him on red after the cancelled date and he'd rearranged for another time, which, you know, fine. And then he didn't really say very much. And then I got a message from him again. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask him. So I sort of said, oh, how's your dating life going? And turns out he's been successfully seeing some other girl.
I don't have any words. I just don't.
Yeah.
Kitty obviously sent me the screenshot of the conversation when it happened, because that's how we are.
What
you
we
guys
do.
should have known that already by now. But yeah, do you know what? Given everything that had gone on between the two of you, and the way that he'd been, and the kind of stuff that he'd said, he was giving strong red flags from the jump, like from the beginning. I'm not surprised, but I'm like frustrated to once again be proven right, because a couple of episodes ago when you were saying that I'm really cynical and I don't trust any guys and you know, maybe they have good intentions, and then this one, I was right.
You were right, and I really didn't want you to be right.
Sorry.
I'm happy for you, you're right, but...
Me too. I am feeling a bit smug. I feel bad, because obviously I would have loved for you to have like a successful date, but I am feeling a bit smug, because I'm like, I love you, but I told you so.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know what, I feel like a lot of people could be like, why is she getting so het up about this? Like, he's just seen this girl a few times. But the thing is that if he's doing it to her, he's going to do it to you, right? Mm-hmm. So if he's still speaking to me behind her back, insinuating that we're going to be going on a date and stuff's going to be happening, he's going to be doing it to me when I'm dating him as well. So why the fuck would I want that?
True. Also, it was more like the audacity, like the fact that he just went from like, I want to take you on a date, oh no, I'm busy and I can't do that anymore, to then being like, oh actually, I am seeing someone and it's going really well. Yeah, I've seen her quite a few times. It's
he
like,
honestly walked right into it. Like, I don't know, like, obviously there's times he's been seeing her. We've been very flirty. I had no fucking idea.
Poor girl.
That he was... Exactly, I feel so bad for this girl.
Should we find her and message her?
Yeah, maybe.
Yikes.
The Dumping Podcast reaches out to whoever this girl
Do it from
is.
the podcast account.
Imagine.
We've got
Honey,
some episodes
you need to listen to this.
But it's funny, like, because obviously we talked a lot recently, we spoke about it with Lily when she came on, Lily from Love with Intelligence, and she was saying about, like, giving people chances and, like, you know, hoping that they'll change.
Yeah.
And this guy was just giving the signs from day one.
I know,
really.
I know. He was just sort of what I wanted without being that, if that makes sense.
No.
Okay, anyway, he
ticked the boxes, but he wasn't more than that.
And so I didn't reply to his latest message telling me how well it was going with this girl, because that was fucking weird. Like, what the fuck do you want from me? We're not friends. And he has already sent me another text today saying, you okay?
You should be like, no, I'm not okay. I'm actually heartbroken.
Like, what?
I've been crying all day because you said that you're seeing someone else.
Like, what do you think I'm going to say? Am I okay? Well, yeah, I'm fine, but, like, fuck off.
This is such, like, a valuable life lesson, though. Like, if he's not interested in you, he's interested in someone else.
Yeah, they're always going to be interested in someone.
If he wanted to, he would.
Yes.
And, like, it's so obvious, and we hear this all the time, and I see it on TikTok, but it is so serious. Like, if he wanted to, he wouldn't be rescheduling dates. He wouldn't be, like, not replying or being... You would just know that he was interested. Like, he would be hot, as we'll find out next week, and he would be pursuing you. Like, not gonna lie, I'll tell this now. Wasn't going to tell this one yet because I don't know how it plays out. Was talking to a guy from Hinge, progressed to WhatsApp, conversation ended because he stopped replying, whatever, over it. Thought he was really good looking, so it was a bit like disappointing because he was physically my type. Then he randomly follows me on Instagram like a couple of months after. So obviously I was like, this is a good sign. Like, he's obviously changed his mind, he's going to slide in my DMs, accepted a follow, followed him back, nothing for a good couple of weeks. So I just got to a point where the lighting was good. I took a nice selfie. I just thought, this is going to go on. And this is an open door. I've literally said, my friend, here's the... Step in and reply.
Send one of those emojis.
Yeah, react to it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to write anything. And what does he do? He views it and still nothing. And I've woken up today and I'm like, he's definitely seeing someone else.
He must be, because why else would you bother?
It was a great selfie as well, so
anybody
in their right mind would have been like, let me just swipe up on this girl, see what her plans are for the weekend. I was looking good. The only explanation is he's seeing someone else. Because if he wanted to, he would have messaged. Duh.
Do you know? Yeah, and I think it comes if they want to, they will. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. Someone, like, I think you've been in situations and I've been in situations where someone has been actively pursuing us.
I mean, not for a bloody while, but yeah.
Well, no, but to the point, it's like, it's a bit much, but because you don't fancy them. If you fancied them, it'd be like, holy shit, this is incredible, right? But, so we know what it's like to be on the receiving end as someone who's very into it and very hot, as our next guest will say. So for someone who's hot and cold, it's blatantly obvious that they are keeping their door open and their options open.
Yeah, just in the nicest way possible. If he's not talking to you, he's talking to someone else.
Yeah.
He's not sat at home staring at the walls and thinking, oh, maybe I'll slide in her DMs, but I'm not going to reply to a selfie. I'm just waiting for her to post something else. Yeah, he's timing right. No, he's talking to other girls.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work with them, maybe he will slide in your DMs. The door is still open there, mate. If it is. But
shut the door, girls.
But yeah,
if he's in and out a little bit, hasn't quite decided, leaves you on red, then pops back, kick him out.
If he's not texting you, he's texting someone else.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, Franks, how's your week been apart from laughing at my misery?
Well, I've had a bit of revelation.
Yeah?
Revelation.
What was that word?
No, I combined two. I've had a revelation. I've realised I just don't think I'm going to be a relationship person ever again.
So quite frankly, I totally disagree with this, but carry on.
Okay, well anyway, I just feel like I've done it. I know what it's like to be in love. I just feel like this week, I like to think I'm a little bit psychic.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a relationship being in my future. I don't think I'm going to be the kind of person that gets married. I just don't think it's going to... I'd love it to. Like, it would be really nice if it did, but I don't think it's going to. And I'm not going to feel bad if it doesn't happen, because I would rather prioritise my career, the other stuff I'm working on, the things I'm doing, than feeling like I need to do that.
Do you know what? I think this is an age stage. Okay? So, we're very young when you really look at the timing and the scale of when people get together,
True.
Get engaged, get married, right? We're at the bottom of it. Maybe not as bottom as the 18-year-olds, but we're pretty near to the bottom.
We are too young for commitment.
Also, given a lot of people don't even meet their partner till they're 35 now. That's over 10 years away. Whew, right? That's scary, right? So I'm thinking you're in this stage right now because you're young.
Yeah.
And because you can be. You've got your career ahead of you. You got your fun social life. You don't actually need to be with someone right now. So you're like, well, I feel like if you had a happy relationship, you wouldn't be sat there going, nah, marriage and being with someone for life isn't for me.
But I just don't think I've got another relationship in me.
I don't think I've got another heartbreak in me.
Neither.
That's what I...
But the thing is, to be in the relationship, you have to risk the heartbreak.
Yeah, I agree.
I just honestly, when I look at you and I look at my friends and I feel like I know you well, and I see in my like psychic brain like the future and how it's going to pan out for you, and I just really feel it in my bones that I'm going to be single at everybody's wedding. I can just feel it.
But even if you are, that doesn't mean you're single forever.
No, because I don't want to be an old bride. I want to look good on
If
my
you
wedding
leave
day.
it too long, you're never going to get married? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a cut-off point. Because I want to look good. If I get married, I want to look hotter. And you can look hot at any age, but I just feel like I'm going to peak soon.
I feel like I've already peaked.
I think I did, when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from now.
I had a good stage and now I'm like, oh no.
But yeah, I just don't feel like... I'm just very pro being single, but also I'm comfortable being... Because I think also sometimes we get into this habit of like, I'm happy now being single, doing my thing, but it's because I know I have this like comfort blanket that in the future I'm obviously going to meet somebody and fall in love and get married, because that's what like life is, society tells me is going to happen in my life. Yeah. And I don't want to ever get to that point where I just like bank on that happening in the future, because nothing is certain. You never know it's going to happen. So I would rather be completely happy in myself without any of that being on my radar as part of my life. Because if it doesn't happen, I want to have just equally. And I think I give off cool aunt vibes. I think I'm going to be the cool single aunt that like gets them drunk when they're 16 and like.
Can't you be that being a mum?
I just don't think I'm a mumsy person. I think I'm a godmothery person, an aunt person.
It's a real... I truly believe this is because we're in a very, very, very lulling moment of our dating lives. I don't think the pair of us have ever been this single.
Oh, God, no. And
there's literally no one.
COVID said, no, you're not doing that for a while. You're on some time off.
March 2020, nah, it's going to be over a year before you guys start seeing anyone again.
Yeah. I mean, March 2020, I was seeing a guy for a little bit and it kind of ended like end of Feb, like mid to end Feb. So I was like a few weeks out of that. I was living my best life. I was talking to guys. I was on Tinder. I was doing all of these things, and now I'm just not.
March 2020, I'd already been single for fucking 6 months.
Oh, I'd been single, but like I had been dated someone repeatedly, which is more than has happened since.
Yeah, I tell you what, I keep thinking like, there will be, because I don't really believe in a god, right? I don't really believe in like a higher universe. I just believe in something, right?
Yeah.
And I have conversations with this. Oh, no,
what the fuck?
Okay, people are gonna think I'm batshit fucking crazy. Okay?
Yeah, I do a little bit. Go on.
But when I'm by myself, I have conversations with this person, and
what do you say?
I'm like, look, what is going on? And they're like, no, it's okay. Stay patient. We've got a plan.
They speak back to you.
Yeah.
I think you've got voices in your head.
I don't think I have. Okay, anyway. And then
I'm concerned for you.
No, and then
I'm a bit scared now. I want to get away.
Guys, if anyone else has this, can you tell me? Because
you might need medical assessment. I'm joking. Can you imagine if Kitty's like, the universe speaks back to me and it's actually you just with like 3 personalities? No, I do. I think like I have conversations out loud, but it doesn't reply. But it's also more like, what's the winning lottery number's going to be?
Well,
where did I put my keys?
No, mine replies, but obviously it's still me though, isn't it?
It's just your other personality.
Well, anyway,
that wasn't me, that was Patricia.
My other personality is being like, no, be patient, like something good is coming, it's on its way. And I'm like, I've been patient for how many fucking months? Sorry, years, shall we make it? Like, I'm a bit bored of being patient for this lovely thing to come along.
But I also don't think that you should live your life in a state of waiting for the next thing.
No, I agree, but I think I feel like we're so nearly at the point of getting out of this zone where all you can do and think about is the future. We've had nothing going on.
Your light just went.
Suddenly got very dark.
That was the universe.
Oh, shut up, girls. Where like we're literally living our lives in the future at the moment because our lives are so dull in lockdown. Everything's going on. We just keep looking forward to the next thing that we can potentially do. Right?
Exactly, and I also feel like everybody loves to comfort people by being like, oh, it'll happen one day. It's going to happen one day. Obviously, it's going to happen. You're going to meet the one and have this amazing love, and it's all going to happen the way that the fairy tales do. And actually, I don't necessarily think that is like the right thing to bank all your hopes on. Like, that shouldn't be what helps you sleep at night now. You should sleep at night knowing that you're happy and secure in who you are in the present. And I completely agree in terms of like COVID, and like I'm very much like my plans for the 17th of May and my plans for the 21st of June. Like but in terms of like big life plans and like relationships and all of those things, I don't believe in like tucking yourself in bed at night and being like, oh, well, my wedding in the future to the man of my dreams who I'm gonna find because that's the fairy tale ending that everyone says is gonna happen. I feel like I'd rather go to sleep and be like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm happy with who I am now and the stuff I'm doing now.
Do you know what though? I really do, and I do go to bed thinking like that. I don't know why I have this overhanging thing of like, I'd like a boyfriend. I feel like maybe it's because it's been so long.
Yeah.
That it's almost like, it's like a craving for something that you haven't had for ages.
Yeah.
But once you have it, you're a bit like, oh, okay. If you hadn't had chocolate for ages, and you're like, I just want a bit of chocolate. Have that bit of chocolate, and it's almost like...
Yes,
like
I gave it up for Lent. I gave chocolate up for Lent,
Exactly.
guys, by the way.
Exactly.
Proudest time of my life. If anyone knows me, I'm like an absolute fiend for chocolate. I could eat like a bag of chocolate buttons every night, like beforehand. I love chocolate, especially milk chocolate, like dairy milk. Oh, it was like crack. It's my kryptonite. And I just gave it up for Lent, and I was really just so determined. I was just at a point where I was like, I can't keep living like this. I just can't keep consuming this like crack. So yeah, did it the whole time, didn't break it a single time, didn't even have like chocolate chip cookies, wouldn't have chocolate cake, like didn't have anything chocolate. And then Easter weekend, and my mum's like, oh, I've made a chocolate trifle, which was amazing, by the way, Lorraine, if you're listening, bloody amazing cooking. But I was just like, oh, I haven't really missed this at all. Like, I haven't had any milk chocolate since. I'm like,
and was it just underwhelming?
Yeah, like it was still nice, but it was like, oh god, this is really sickly, and like I just I don't feel like I'd actually missed it.
I feel like I could have 2 weeks of a relationship and then I'd be like, okay, cool, I'm done.
Yeah. The first time he'd be like, what time are you coming home tonight? I'd be like, nah, I can't do this.
I don't know. I might go to the supermarket. I might see a friend. I might be late at work. I don't know.
I might go AWOL just for fun. Because I like my independence.
Yeah. But then I do like the dating part of things where it's not shit.
I think you like the excitement.
I like the new... my attention span is so small.
But I think you like meeting people, and I think you like excitement, and like excitement in your social life. Yeah. And I think that dating goes hand in hand with that. Yeah. So I think it satisfies those things that you're interested in, which you're not getting from your social life now, because we're not able to like go out to bars and clubs and to speak to strangers. Yeah. So I think I don't think you necessarily like dating all these guys. I think it's you like the elements of it.
And I love meeting new people.
Yeah, I know.
I find that so interesting.
Yeah. Which it is.
Like, I'd happily go on lots of dates without it being a date. Like, I'd happily just go and meet lots of different people without the pretense of this is a romantic chemistry sexual thing.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, I think anybody would. It's like fun doing those things. Yeah. If you're like an outgoing and socially confident person. But I also think, like, because we're not able to do those things at the moment, and we're not able to like go to bars and speak to strangers, it's like the next best thing is dating, because it's like another way of like broadening your social circle. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know, I'm looking forward to things opening and being able to meet people. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be working the room like a little socialite when I can go in a bar again. I'm going to be like table hopping. You're not allowed to do that? No, when you can, 21st of June, when you can do that again, I'm going to be like, so what's your name, what's your job, interesting, next. Imagine being in a club. Just imagine walking through people on the dance floor. Getting with a stranger in the club. Oh, that's unhygienic. I don't know how I'd feel about that now. I don't think I could do that now. Yeah. Now that I know how easy it is that we can spread germs without masks on, even just being next to someone on the tube, I can't believe I ever like swapped saliva with a stranger. Do you know what I really loved is I've not had a cold this year. I sound a bit like I've got one now. I've not had a cold. Isn't that great? Yeah. I mean, as soon as you can leave the house again, if you kiss a stranger, you're going to get the flu. Your immune system is going to be like a newborn. Yeah, I won't get COVID. I'm going to get the flu. Yeah, I haven't been vaccinated, but you'll get tonsillitis. I don't have the flu vaccine. Yeah, I get tonsillitis. Something else is not a vaccine for. In fact, I'm willing to go so far as to predict there's going to be a new pandemic this summer of like a throat infection from like kissing strangers. Do you think everyone's just going to go mad? I think they might. I think the energy's building up. It's hard to tell though, because I think a year ago, like if we just done a few months of lockdown then been like back to normal, I think everyone would have done, because I know last summer it was very like... I didn't really get involved with it very much last summer. I missed out there. I mean, I was like going out and stuff when we could, like it was still weird, but I mean, I personally feel like it's been so long now that I would be a bit... I get, like, if someone walks too close to me in the supermarket, I get stressed. So I think me being in a club for the first time is going to be a bit of an overwhelming experience. But maybe then with alcohol, actually, we'll just get over it. Yeah, it's hard to tell until you actually do it. But I think there's going to be a lot of drinking and a lot of snogging this summer. Oh, I can't wait.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait for the drinking. I'm like, I need to plan my outfits,
Oh.
bars.
Oh.
It's like the meme, like, bus, club, another club, no sleep, plane.
Dude, it's like putting on makeup again. Imagine putting on makeup for a night out.
Ooh, I don't know how to do it anymore.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I'm actually so excited. Oh.
It's going to be good.
I'm so excited.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying. But imagine...
You look like you're gonna.
No, I'm not crying. But imagine, I probably would be that emotional about it. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I reckon if we get into a club and they play like an emotional song, like an Avicii, there'll be tears.
I'll be bawling.
I do it just thinking about it.
We were doing something the other day, weren't we? And I was just going around smiling. I was just so happy to be doing that again. And it was just so much fun. And I was like, I feel like a Cheshire cat, but like, I can't explain how good that feeling was.
Like being around my friends and like being in a group of my friends.
Yeah.
Like outdoors, and you just look around and you're like, everybody's here. Like, I'm not just in my bubble. I've really missed it.
Oh man. Anyway, sorry. Right, back to our topic of today.
Straight on a tangent, by the way, with that one. Yeah.
Apologies, everyone. Franks, how's your week been?
I've literally told the story. I literally said I answered this.
What was the story?
I'm not interested in love. I don't believe in love.
Oh, right, that was your week.
Again. Yeah. My week's been fine if you're other than that. Like,
I just had a fucking massive revelation, but okay.
Can you imagine if I said that and then I was like, but also I've met this guy, I really like him when he's on a date? As you can predict, I had a lot of time to sit around and think about that, so the old dating life is still as dead as ever.
Okay. So, what we are going to talk about today is basically, is sex the be-all and the end-all of a relationship?
Of life, even.
Of life?
That could get a bit deep.
Well, yeah, you need it for life.
I mean, yeah, biologically. So, the kind of thought process behind this, like Kitty and I have been having a lot of conversations recently. To put it bluntly, we've obviously both been single for a while. It's been a while.
Actually, a very long time, but okay.
A really I use the term a while lightly.
Although actually, we did meet someone the other day who's gone a lot longer than us, so that was good.
But we were saying how, because put it this way, our sex life should be in a museum. For old ancient artifacts. In the ancient history.
I wondered where you were going with that. I was like, why
section.
is there a museum?
But I think it's quite interesting because there's a lot of conversation. I see and I hear a lot of podcasts or people speaking about sex and how and I agree with it, the big sex positivity movement and even conversations we've had on the podcast, including with Raki and guests that we've had on, talking about pleasure and women should feel empowered to feel pleasure and all of these amazing things. But we haven't ever mentioned the other side of it, where sometimes you just don't, it's not a big interest for you in your life. It's not something that you think about all the time. You don't feel particularly in touch with your own sex drive, or even if you're in a relationship, you don't feel that the sex side of it between you is that big of a deal or that important to you. And I think it's quite an underrepresented topic. I know so many people who aren't interested in having sex, don't really want to have sex. Add me to that list. Because they're just focusing on other things, and there's this disconnect between the big sex is great and you should have it all the time and you should, pleasure yourself all the time, which I do agree with if that's what you're interested in, if that's what your sex drive leads you to. But also there are a lot of people who just for whatever reason don't feel a huge need for that. Yeah.
Do you know what I find really funny just thinking about that is that I don't think I have heard of anyone else who's had a dry spell during this period.
Yeah. I've heard of a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm seeing someone, or...
Yeah, a lot of people have had a lot of support bubbles.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy for them. But
You don't sound like you are.
No, I'm not. I literally have not heard anyone else say, yeah, it's been a period. Apart from us. Oh, so are we the only ones, firstly, A, being honest, secondly, 2, not breaking the law, or 3, just there's no one who wants to sleep with us?
It might be the third one.
I think it's the third.
There was a really fantastic campaign by Badu, like a billboard thing where they were like, basically thank you to all of the people who are staying home and masturbating to like help with the COVID lockdown and the, not strain the NHS by getting it from sleeping with somebody.
Yeah, well, we followed the rules.
Yeah.
Naughty people who don't. Anyway, sorry, back to the topic. I suddenly thought, when you were saying that, I was thinking, I've not heard of anyone else. But anyway, back to the topic. I feel like sex in a relationship, I don't think I have been in a relationship long enough for it to become a dry part of the relationship, right? So you know how some relationships, it gets like a year point and they just stop having sex because it's just like they've kind of been there, done that.
Yeah.
I've not got to that point in a relationship, but I feel like for me personally, it's never really been that much of a big deal. It's never been a make or break for me in the sense of like, oh my God, we're not having sex every day. This must mean he's not the one for me. Like, it's just never been that. For me, a nice cuddle in bed before going to sleep is perfectly sufficient.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to know because like I've been single for a while, so the person that I am is very different to who I was when I was in a relationship. But I have been through like situations with exes where it just wasn't really happening for a period of time. And it wasn't because we were like bored of it. It's just, life gets in the way and you can still love like having sex with someone that you love when you know what each other want is, a fulfilling experience. But just sometimes for whatever reason, it's just not like something a rhythm that you fall into together. But I've just found more and more being single, and it might be especially during the pandemic because people are horny. So a lot of the conversations on dating apps are like, what would you do if I was there?
Nothing.
Or those kind of things. Like they want to, have something to think about. And that is just so not even on my radar at the moment.
I agree. No, I agree.
I'm like, what would I do I'd be like, can you make me a cup of tea? Like, I'm going to bed. It's like 11:30. Like,
yeah.
I don't even want to have this conversation. Or like, and it was something really prevalent, I feel like, when we were teenagers and boys would try and make like sexy conversation and you'd just be like going about your day, like having a shower, getting out, replying and like being like, oh yeah, how really? To like these horny messages. But it still happens now. People try and like lead the conversation down that route and I'm like, I'm really busy. Like we're both busy people.
Yeah,
we have stuff on every day. We work more than full time. Like, when do you think I have the time to sit down and be horny? I'm not. That's not even on my radar.
Who gets horny at like, I don't know, 10 in the morning, and then
guys,
like,
a lot
then,
of
like
guys.
2 in the afternoon, and then like 6 in the evening, like.
But hey, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I really fancy them and want to rip their clothes off, then by all means, if they're down too. But
no, sorry, for the record, if you're thinking about dating me,
just put it out there now.
Just putting it out there.
But like for the most part, particularly if I've like gotten up, worked all day, then worked on something else in the evening, then I'm like making dinner and getting into bed. When I then have time to open my messages and reply to people before I go to sleep, I don't want to be hearing about what mood you're in and you've been very bored all day and I just
do you know what the worst? The worst is pictures, because even if you feel like you want them, they still send them through, and I don't know how you can make picture scenarios not awkward.
Yeah.
It's just like, unless you're there with them, it's just.
But is there not just like an awkward process of like flash, no flash? Like, I just don't. I think some people. And it's weird because I didn't ever think I'd be the kind of person to say this because I've always like thought, it's important to have that chemistry with somebody. but I think some people hype sex up to be like
Yeah.
the most important thing in the world, and like if they're not having it with somebody, then they need to be at least having like a flirty conversation about it with someone, anyone. And I just think like, unless we're actually dating and I'm interested in you and fancy you, I don't want you in my Instagram DM saying, what would you do if I was there? Because the answer is not going to be what you want to hear.
Do you know what's funny? Is one of the guys I dated last year, and he had managed to get onto this topic, which, as we now know from Lily, is narcissistic behaviour. I'd sort of expressed my, you know what, I'm not too bothered, I just love a good cuddle in bed before going to sleep. And his response was, yeah, well, when I start, I can't stop, I just keep going at it. Yeah, and he was like admitting he was like a rampant rabbit. And basically my response was not good enough because I wasn't like that.
What the
How bad is that?
You can't just say that. People need to consent
But
if
also,
they want to.
it just made me feel a bit sick because I thought, right, so we're going to be in bed together and you're just going to want to be at it the whole time?
I would just be like,
sleeping.
respectfully, I don't think we're sexually compatible. Like, let's end this conversation now because...
Well, yeah, we didn't see each other again, did we? So...
As you should.
That was fine. But, yeah,
I just feel like I don't have the energy, and this happens more often than I would like it to be, like, if I take time out of my day to reply to someone in a conversation or on a dating app or whatever, I don't have the energy to be trying to steer the conversation back on the straight and narrow when he goes, I'm in bed, or I'm by myself, oh, my flatmate's away, oh, I've been so bored all day. Like, you know, you can tell when they start trying to signpost the conversation. And I just think, mate, I'm really busy. I've got 10 other million things in my head. I'm not in the mood for that right now. And I probably am not going to be with you unless we actually start seeing each other and like there's a rapport there, and then then by all means I might. But right now, you're not doing it for me over messages, and I'm busy. My life is...
It's the I'm home alone. I honestly just read it and don't reply. I'm like, okay, good for you. What do you want me to say to that?
When I'm
not
home
come
alone,
over.
I play music really loudly and I walk around in my pants. Like, what more do you know?
I
you
live
go and
by
do that.
myself because I'm so grateful to be home alone all the time.
But the amount of time, like, do you find that you spend a lot of time like trying to work out how to reply in a way that's polite, but will like steer the conversation back to the normal?
Yeah, but
without putting them off.
No, because my response is I don't reply.
Oh.
This is why I have so many people that I don't respond to.
Fair. Maybe
because I cannot be bothered. If they've taken the conversation in that direction and I'm not feeling that, I'm just not going to respond to it.
Yeah.
It happens quite a lot. If you guys are listening, I know some of you do listen to this and you've fallen into that. You've fallen into that boat. If I've not responded because you've said something weird, it's a fucking good reason why.
But also, I just think like, I don't know, when we've talked about this, like, sex education, woefully inadequate, didn't know women could feel pleasure, whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as we hit the age where we found out that women could feel pleasure, it was like this explosion of like body positivity, like, oh my god, yeah, sex is amazing, like, you can, you know,
have one night stands and don't feel guilty, it's fine.
If that's what you want to do, like, or like, just as in like, you can satisfy your own, you know, all of these things, and like whatever, like, it's a human instinct, and we shouldn't be afraid to feel like that. And we, you know, if you're in a relationship with someone, you want to have sex with them, then do it and whatever. But I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm like less excited by all of that as a prospect. And maybe it's just because I've been single for a really long time that I'm like, oh.
Do you know what? I was having this conversation with some guys the other day, and I'd seen it come up somewhere. I think this is what led me onto it. But someone had said, you need to have a connection with the person you're sleeping with, otherwise you might as well be fucking a dildo. Right? Sorry for the graphicness there. This is what this person had said. I don't know where I read it. But the logic behind it, when you think about it, is very valid.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think some people want to get it by any means necessary from anyone. And I just think if I want it, it would be from someone that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in you and I choose to like have a sexual relationship with you, it's your lucky day, mate.
That is a big compliment.
But also, you're not going to be disappointed. I can tell you that for a fact.
All right.
Yeah. No, not like that. I don't mean... I just mean as in, like, when you like someone and you've got that sexual chemistry and you both want to have sex, it's not ever like... But I also just think, like, also people make it, I've been speaking to you for one day on Hinge, I need to know how many people you've slept with, what your favourite position is, what you wear to bed. Oh. Would you let me do you like this? Would you let me do you in the morning? Would you let me... Blah, blah, blah. And I just think, like, what? Okay, yes, those things are important to have chemistry, but, like, can we... No, I don't want to talk about that right now.
So what's the conclusion of this? Guys need to stop with the sexy chat.
But also, like, as a woman, it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I don't feel like I need to be that person to satisfy a guy. Like, that's a very interesting point. Because I was a bit like, oh God, I don't really have, like, much of a sex drive at the moment because I'm single in a pandemic, like, I'm obviously not going to be horny every waking moment. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something, is it meant to be like that? Yeah. But obviously our hormones are, like, leveled out because there's no male around us. We're not going to be,
natural instinct.
We don't need to
be. There's no one to
survival mode,
be breeding with.
So if there is, like, girls listening to this and they're like, oh, a lot of the time my boyfriend wants to have sex and I don't want to, or, oh, this guy's always trying to talk to me about these things and I don't really want to, like, or vice versa, if it's a guy about a girl, it's, like, normal to. You don't have to be this, like, mind-blowing porn star freak in the sheets every single day of the week. Like, you can have times where you're not in the mood for it. I'm not an expert. We should probably get an expert on, but...
We need a sex expert.
A sexpert.
A sexpert. Okay.
Guys, let us know if you would like us to get a sexpert on the show. We can put all these questions to them and they can probably tell us, like, the biological answers behind it.
We need this. We could have a listener's question.
When we both get laid finally again after all this, are we going to have to tell everyone?
Yeah, but I can't see this happening for a very long time.
Neither. I think I'd be scared to.
Yeah.
I think I'd be scared to take my clothes off in front of somebody because it's been a very, very long time since I was in a relationship. And
yeah, I feel like the only time it's going to happen is, like, coming back from a night out very drunk.
I don't even think that would be mine.
Oh, okay. I was like, why do you look so shocked?
Mine would have to be, like, someone I was, like, seeing. But as I've said earlier, I don't think that's going to happen. So maybe this is it for me. Maybe the last time I had sex was it.
You're never going to have sex again.
I feel at the moment.
Then
I know. I don't have time to anyway. I'm really busy. I'm tired already.
Oh, shit.
Cool. Okay.
Do you know what? Also, I don't want someone else in my space.
I just don't. Yeah.
We've got a lot of problems.
My bed is my, like, personal space. My body is my personal space. I'm comfortable with what's going on here, but I don't need anybody else to see it.
Guys, we're going to do some self-care, April self-care, and report back to you because I don't feel like we're being very enthusiastic about the world opening up.
No, we were so enthusiastic. We've got so many drinks and dinners booked.
I'm really enthusiastic for that side of it. But we're not enthusiastic for the dating side, let's be honest. No, I'm really enjoying having a 2-meter distance so you've got a perfect excuse not to kiss anyone at the end of the date.
Yeah, but maybe we can, like, go on all these nights out or day drinking sessions we've got booked in.
Yeah.
From 2 meters away, speak to some guys and then get interesting stories and content that way.
We're not doing this for content, we're doing it for our lives.
No, but as in, we're going to run out of stories soon at some point, like...
Yeah, we'll meet some people, guys.
Maybe we'll come up... Maybe the first time we go out, which is coming up soon... We're going to meet 2 guys and they're going to be our dream guys and then we're going to be wifed off, married by the end of the year.
Guys, by the way, just so you're all aware, if I ever do get a boyfriend, I'm going to be announcing it on the podcast. No one else is going to know before I announce it.
Do you think you're a fucking Kardashian? It's under embargo until the show goes out. No one's allowed to know that Tristan and Chloe are back together until it's out on the show.
Yeah.
Are you going to announce everything via the podcast?
No, just when I get a boyfriend.
That's quite funny. To be fair, if I got a boyfriend, I wouldn't post his face on my Instagram. I'd do the whole, like, hand, back of the head, like a Kardashian.
Oh, so now you're the fucking Kardashian.
Have you met me? Yeah, of course I am. They do say I'm the British Kylie Jenner. No, I'm joking, they don't. Anywho. Before this gets any sillier.
Okay, so Frank's pet peeve. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Pet peeve.
Never gets old. It's even nicer in person.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've never heard it in person.
No.
We hadn't started the pet peeve series when we recorded in person.
Sorry, I would have made that a bigger deal.
Wait, can you do it again?
Pet peeve.
Wow.
Is it good?
It's tuneful. Just had it live, guys. Really exciting. My pet peeve for this week is people behaving strangely in public. This might be quite an isolated pet peeve. So people in anywhere else in the world or country might be like, don't know what you're talking about. But we obviously both live in London.
Yeah.
We both live in like central London, like
Yeah.
zone 1 and 2. You just see a lot of strange behaviour. Like even on
Like
my
what,
way
though?
here to record today, there was some very weird behaviour going on the tube.
But like what?
Like this guy was just like pointing at everyone's shoes.
Oh.
Or you just see like someone talking to a wall. Like when I walked in, there
Oh.
was a woman just walking along talking out loud. And
Oh.
you know, you never know what people have got going on in their lives, but sometimes you're just like, what is everyone else like? Am I in a different world here? So it might be a London thing, because I honestly feel like you see some bizarre stuff in London, like people walking along holding a chicken, or like
Yeah.
rollerblading backwards, or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
playing an accordion in
Yeah.
the street. But you do see weird behaviour,
Yeah.
and just sometimes I just want to be normal, because it puts you on edge. You think, why are you pointing at my shoes, or why are you walking past me talking out loud?
Do you know what happened to me the other day? I was standing on the phone, maybe like 8:30, speaking to my mother on the phone, right, just outside my building. And this guy is walking up next to me, and he's sort of sauntering a bit. I think he was a bit drunk, singing into his earphones. So I sort of took a step back, because I was like, I don't want to get in an altercation with this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, as he walks past, I take a closer look at him. Turns out I went to school with him for 10 years.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding. I was like,
Shut
oh my
up.
God.
Is this someone I know?
no.
Oh, gutted.
Sorry. Yeah, it was just the irony of like,
That
hold
is
on a minute,
hilarious.
I know him. So yeah, strange behaviour. I agree. Can make you
just
feel a bit
think-
uncomfortable.
Like, big cities like this, people maybe their inhibitions go, they start acting a bit strange. But if you are walking along trying to be, you know, normal and acceptable in society, it can just be a bit unnerving sometimes to see someone, I don't know, licking the pavement, or
Not in COVID times, please.
people get up to some weird things in the city. So that was my pet
Strange.
peeve of the week. So sorry. I don't want to be a judgmental person. Like, by all means, lick the pavement or rollerblade backwards if you want to. It just makes me quite nervous when you do it around me.
So please,
do it
refrain.
elsewhere. Do it where I'm not.
Oh, I think that was a good one.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Franks.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Our first episode, recording it live, back together in person. So this has been a really nice experience. I feel like this is one of those episodes where we just sat down, we had a couple of glasses of wine, and we just talked. So hopefully you feel like you've been sat here with us, in our little circle of trust, in a little girl group. Yeah,
with
hope
our
you've
scatty
enjoyed.
brains.
I hope that was possible to follow. Might not have been.
Mm.
But if you did resonate with anything we said tonight and you want to join the conversation, you can always drop us a DM on Instagram at The Dumping Podcast, or an email, thedumpingpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can help contribute to future episodes of The Dumping Podcast. You can send in your dilemmas, which we will answer anonymously in an episode, or you can just send us discussion topics or any guests you want to see. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about more, then let us know, because we are so down. You are in the circle of trust now, you're in the group, you're in the gang, you're along for the ride.
Yeah, bring it.
So yeah, I think that's all from us these days. We have a new episode coming for you next week. We've got a guest joining us. Really interesting one, really interesting guy. Can we say that? Guy?
Yeah.
Guy. Very knowledgeable expert on dating, so it's going to be a super interesting episode. As always, you can watch us on YouTube if you want to see our faces while we talk. Completely up to you. Don't know why you want to do that, but you could see us sat in a room together for the first time in a very long time
Very
now.
exciting.
Very exciting. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Hope you have a fantastic week.
Yeah.
Were you going to say anything there?
No. What do you mean?
Sorry, I
What
got
would
really
I
into the
say?
spiel. I left nothing.
No, it's all good. Have a great week, guys, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.